You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Bold and the Beautiful fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and here's what we're wondering if B&B is going to do, if they are going to do a big twist. Actress Annika Noelle hinted at this. She plays Hope Logan, and she had kind of hinted that this story could take this diversion. So what we are wondering is if Brooke Logan is going to have Hope committed. Yes, I said committed, as in to a mental hospital. Brooke Logan is about to explode after catching Hope with Thomas. If this promo can be trusted, a lot of people are wondering if this is just like some kind of weird nightmare that Hope is having, but the spoilers say that Brooke's mind is blown. That's what the official spoilers say. So in addition to having it in the promo, they have it in the official spoilers, so I tend to lean towards it happening, and that Brooke is going to walk in, see Hope in bed with Thomas, and she could take drastic action to shut this down. But would Brooke go so far as to have her daughter committed? Let's talk about this. There are reasons we think it could happen. If you haven't, please click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Bold and the Beautiful updates, news, and more. All right. So Annika Noelle had done a couple of interviews a couple of months ago. One of them was with the always excellent Michael Fairman, and she hinted that something could be up with Hope to explain this road she's going down with Thomas. And of course, this was well before the kiss in Rome and them making love. So Annika Nicole said in an interview that she'd like it if Hope had split personality, dissociative identity disorder called DID, to justify the change in her after everything that Thomas has done to them. She talked about how she'd like to play bad Hope versus good Hope. She was also asked about Hope being in love with Thomas, and she said, no, Hope is in love with Liam, and he has always been her be-all and end-all. But, you know, here's the thing. Actors don't write the scripts. So when she's not allowed to give away spoilers. They are specifically not allowed to give away spoilers unless they are given a spoiler to give away. So what I do want to remind you of, if you guys watched Friends, do you remember when Joey was on Days of Our Lives playing Dr. Drake Ramore, and he made some quip in an interview about how he does some writing for his character, and he got fired. So although that was just a sitcom, the fact is that in almost every case, actors do not determine storylines. Maybe somebody really big who had a lot of power at the soap could have their storyline wishes granted, but maybe not even then. So just because Annika Noelle said this doesn't mean that there is a mental health crisis coming for her. However, it could be. I do want to say that it could be, and it would explain some things. So we're going to talk about that. If they are going to go this route where Hope is having some kind of mental health crisis, maybe Brooke sees signs of manic behavior. And she was having, if you remember, these ongoing kind of quasi hallucinations of being with Thomas, getting intimate with Thomas. She was seeing things that weren't happening. These were very vivid daydreams, but you could say, were they actually hallucinations? She was really losing herself in them a lot. However, I will also say that that's something that Bold and the Beautiful does. They do these dream sequences with these faked footage and of things that didn't happen and are not going to happen. And sometimes they even put it into promos to fool around with fans, which is very misleading and very annoying. I will say right now, I feel like this plot could go either way. Maybe she finally realized that Liam is a toxic twat who loves two women, and she fell for someone new who loves only her. Or, you know, it could be a psychotic break. So I could totally see Brooke either way, whether Hope is mentally competent or if she's having a breakdown. Either way, I could actually see Brooke Logan slapping a 5150 psych hold on Hope. Surely she could get a doctor to sign off on it. That is a mandatory 72-hour hospital stay at a mental health hospital or in the mental health wing of a regular hospital. you can get a 5150 hold on people. I mean, people have done it, and that would give Hope sort of an enforced timeout away from Thomas to cool down and rethink. So I could totally see Brooke going to that extreme. Like, that's how much she despises Thomas and despises the idea of them being together. Plus, if B&B writes this as a breakdown, it opens the door for her to reconcile later with Liam. If you're people that just love Liam with Hope, this is a pathway to them getting back together and redeeming their relationship. But a lot of people really want her with Thomas, so it's just a messy situation with a whole lot of potential. Hope went from, please forgive me, Liam, to Thomas, to his bed, to you make me feel loved, all very fast. So is it just her finally acknowledging her true feelings, or is she having some sort of manic spell, some sort of breakdown? So borderline personality disorder is what I want to talk about, not DID, because at least the way they've done DID, dissociative identity disorder, on other soap operas, the stuff we're seeing doesn't match, but borderline personality disorder maybe. It's also known as BPD, and some of the symptoms of BPD are fear of abandonment or being left alone. And remember, Liam walked out on her, left her alone. She ran immediately to Thomas like she couldn't stand to be alone. Unstable relationships. I mean, check. Her relationship with Liam has been unstable for years. And in some of the medical literature about BPD, it says that doctors want to see at least 5 of these symptoms, and they should be long running. But Bold could ignore that last part. So unstable relationships have been going on for years. Unclear and shifting self-image. We've been seeing that over the last few months, where she's worried that she is like Brooke, or she's worried that being around Brooke has been a bad influence on her. She's worried about going the other way and definitely not being Brooke. So she is kind of having some sort of identity crisis. I'll say that. Impulsive or self-destructive behavior. And I definitely think she's been impulsive. In the past, she has been self-destructive. She has done self-harm remember, she was addicted to pills. If you don't remember that, that's a storyline from a while back. So there has been some self-harm and some impulsive behavior. Extreme emotional swings. I mean, going from tears over Liam to I love you, Thomas, check. That is an extreme emotional swing. Also, being out of touch with reality and these intense sexual daydreams and things she's been having about Thomas, I think we could say that's another check mark, because that does seem kind of out of touch with reality. They could do BPD, they could do bipolar. It doesn't seem, like DID, as I said. And if they are writing a breakdown for her, I mean, there's a lot of things that it could have pushed her to this point. It could be all these things together pushing her to this point. Maybe Liam drove her crazy with years of running back to Steffi, and impregnating Steffi, impregnating her. Just the waffling might have driven her completely, off the range. Being Brooke's daughter and growing up with hearing about, Brooke's bedroom, slept from the valley, this whole thing with Taylor that's been going on all of her life. Maybe just the weight of Brooke's reputation weighed her down and ate at her and gave her these intense mommy issues. Thomas gaslighting her has to be in the mix with the stuff he was doing to manipulate her by having her adopt Douglas and then messing with Douglas. I mean, he's done some bad things. He seems to have legitimately changed, but that doesn't mean that the impact of what he did hasn't still, scarred her psyche. So, if Bold goes this route, then those viewers that hate Thomas are probably going to be thrilled, because it will pave a path back to her with Liam. But those fans that have been waiting for a long time for Thomas and Hope, I will count myself one among them. It's going to crush us. And, so the big question is, what is Brooke going to do when she cannot deny what is happening, when she sees Hope and Thomas in bed together? We have one big question left, and we're going to ask it right after this. If you haven't, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Bold updates, and click a like if you've enjoyed this conversation. So, is Brooke Logan going to see Hope sleeping with Thomas immediately after Liam asks for a divorce a clear sign of a breakdown? Is she going to have her hauled out of there by orderlies, put in a straitjacket, and put on a 5150 3-day timeout away from Thomas? Is Hope Logan crazy in love or just crazy? Let us know what you think in the comments.
thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.